An Indian poet once said, "There is no place where there is no water." Are we losing our sense of place? Hi everyone, I'm so honored to be here tonight on this stage, and I'm excited to be sharing it with someone I can truly call a friend. Several years ago, I was directing a NASA program looking at climate change in the southeastern United States. Syl was one of our summer interns, focusing her studies on sea level rise and its implication on our marsh or hammock islands. Since that time, or from the moment we first met, I knew we were going to hit it off. We had a lot of the same interest, and we also bonded over our passion for the environment. Since that time, Syl has continued to work for me, thankfully. She served as my teaching assistant for 2 years in environmental geology and also has worked with me on several NASA programs. But more importantly than all that work stuff, Syl has become a friend, someone with whom I can share ideas, attend events, and communicate. Syl.
Good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Yeah? Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you all for coming out. Just like Cindy said, we were both really, really good friends, and as much as I like to tease her and call her my boss, I do consider her to be one of my closest friends. And I think that we became such good friends because not only are we passionate about the environment, we're passionate about teaching students and the general public about various environmental issues. Like Cindy also mentioned, I've TA'd for her for the past 2 years, and it's just been an amazing experience. And again, I think it's because we're such a good team, and I say that because you can just see the profound changes in the students from when they first come into the class and then when they leave. They just have a newfound awareness of how they impact the environment. So one thing that Cindy and I both really are interested in is water, and I became interested in water after taking a hydrogeology course 2 spring semesters ago with Professor Timothy J. Callahan. And even after the class ended, I still found myself really interested in various water issues. Cindy does a lot with water in her class, and she's going to tell you about why she's interested in water.
Losing our sense of place by losing water seems absurd to us, especially here in Charleston. I mean, look around, water is everywhere. But as population continues to grow exponentially and climate continues to change, our access to safe and clean drinking water is dwindling. And yet, water is so important. It's what sustains us. It's necessary for life.
All right, so now we have a really cool science activity planned for you guys. If you guys are ready to see that, let me hear you say, "Yeah, science!" Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so here we are. We have a 5-gallon jug of water here, and what we're going to do is we're going to split it up and show you how much water is actually available for human consumption. But as a warning, it's not as much as you think, and it's not as clean as you think either.
So let's just say that we took all of the water on Earth and we shrunk it down to 5 gallons. So this is 100% of the water on Earth. Well, what is readily available to us? 97% of all of the water on Earth is stored in our oceans. While we do have the technology to desalinate seawater, it's often a very expensive process, so it's inaccessible for many countries. So, not really accessible. So that leaves us with this carafe, or just over a half a liter of water. But 2% of all of the Earth's water is stored up in our ice sheets. That's frozen, so not readily accessible to us. So what we're left with is 1%, which is basically this pint glass, 200 milliliters. This is all the groundwater and all of the surface water on Earth that is potentially available for human consumption. Actually, though, that's not even what's available to us. As climate continues to change, we're going to see more extreme climatic conditions, which is going to affect precipitation events and possibly water availability and scarcity. In addition, we here in Charleston, or as Americans, we tend to take water for granted, and we overconsume or we pollute. So let's take a look at some of the things that get in our water. You know, Charleston has dumped raw sewage into the Charleston Harbor up until the late 60s, early 70s. Did you know that? This was before the Clean Water Act was passed. Now we have storm drains for stormwater runoff. You know the ones, they have the fish symbol and they say all drains lead to the ocean. Well, guess what? All those drains lead to the ocean. So every bit of trash and these nasty cigarette butts that get thrown on the ground end up in our Charleston harbor, leaving toxins from our marine life. In addition, we in our household tend to flush our antibiotics or unused medications down the toilet. And we also drink our coffee and Red Bull in the morning to get us going. And ladies, we take our birth control pills, hopefully on a daily basis. And all that stuff typically goes through our wastewater treatment plant, but our wastewater treatment plant can't catch everything. And we really do want to focus on the nasty stuff, that fecal coliform, get it out of there. So these kind of things slip through the cracks, but they make it to our harbor. And I'm not telling you to stop drinking coffee or Red Bull because I don't want to give up my coffee. And I'm definitely not telling you to stop taking birth control. We already have a population problem. But what I am saying is be aware that we all live downstream, especially here in Charleston as our rivers go from the mountains to the sea.
All right, y'all, cheers. I'm just kidding, I would never drink that, no thank you. But now that I have your attention, and now that you understand how much water is available for human consumption, it's time to start to think about the ways that you can reduce your impact on the water supply. Okay, first things first. One of the biggest wastes of water around the household are leaky faucets. So make sure that you're paying attention to those and that you're fixing them as needed. Also, you probably already heard these two following tips before, but it doesn't hurt to reiterate. Make sure that you're taking shorter showers and turn off the tap while you're brushing your teeth. Also, make sure you're not frivolously watering your lawns, because not only does that waste large amounts of water, it also contributes to runoff. Because remember, that runoff goes into the storm drains, which goes into our oceans. Cindy mentioned that we take a lot of medications, so make sure that you're not putting those down the drain, and make sure that you're not putting trash down the drain, because unfortunately, our water facilities don't get out everything. I think that a lot of people in nations like the US believe that water problems, like the ones that we've talked about tonight, are only problems for those people in the developing countries. But in fact, right now, there are states in the western US that are experiencing water shortages. And with confounding events such as global climate change and overpopulation, these problems may only get worse. Think about this. By the year 2050, it's expected that there is going to be some 9 billion people on the planet. 5 billion of those people are expected to be experiencing some type of water-related issue. Everything that we've talked about tonight has really played into my passion, and I'm proud to say that it's a passion that I found while I've been here at the College of Charleston. But not only have I found my passion, I've cultivated many lifelong connections with my fellow students and the fellow faculty, as you've seen here tonight. I really hope that what we talked to you about tonight not only inspires you to make a change, but I hope that it encourages you to inspire other people to do the same thing. I now know, because of the lifelong connections that I made, what I want to do in life. I want to challenge people to see themselves differently in relation to the environment and to all other species that share this planet, because remember, we're all interconnected. I'm going to leave you with a few words that I'll always have in the back of my mind, and I always share these words with people when I'm talking to them about various environmental issues, and I really urge you to listen to them and think about what they really mean for you. And if you feel the need to do so, share them with someone else. The earth can and will exist without us, but we cannot exist without the earth. The earth has done such a good job of taking care of us, but have we done a good job of taking care of the earth? Please join us in doing your part. Thank you so much.